KCC this weekend. And today is loaded with a lot of information that's going to be beneficiary to all our kids and adults too at this moment. So we have a couple of, we're estimating to use about 2 hours for this program. We have about 3 sessions in this program, and there will be opportunity for question. I'll quickly run through it. There's going to be opportunity for question and answer. We take a little break, and I believe there's going to be light refreshment that's going to be served in between the breaks. And like you said, we have presentation on how to prepare for college grants and college preparation for our kids going to college from high school, and then how to build your wealth. Those are summary of the program. And we're going to start with the opening prayer to open up the program, and then we'll go through the flow after the opening prayer, go through the first presentation. So I'm going to call on my wife to come and do the opening prayer. Yes.
In Jesus' mighty name. Heavenly Father, we give you praise for this wonderful day. We thank you because this is the day you have made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you, Lord, because you have purpose for us to be fruitful, to multiply, to fill the earth, and to dominate, to be the light of the world. Thank you for this department, college and career. Thank you for our church, Kingdom Connection Christian Center. Thank you because you've put in the heart of your people that this is a wealthy place where champions are raised. As we deliberate about how to move from one level to a higher level, we ask that your spirit move amongst us, teach us, equip us, that at the end of the day when we will be done, we would know that we have learned from you. There are ways to do things in the world, but except the Lord builds a house, the builders do it in vain. We are doing this knowing fully well what is obtainable outside, but with the guidance of the Holy Spirit. And know we ask, oh God, that you help us. In Jesus' mighty name we've prayed. Amen.
Thank you. So we're going to kick off the first presentation that we have today, and which is how to prepare for grants and other things. That we're going to kick it off. But I want to, even for the parents here, I think it's good to pay attention. We've done this so many times that when, at the end of the day, it's like, wow, opening eyes for, even for the parents, or what need to do, especially those ones going out of state, what they need to do, how to look for, which we get into there, what you need to prepare, looking for your apartment, looking how to build your network, etc. So I'm going to call on Brother Ibukun. He's going to do the first presentation that he has for us, and I think every one of us is going to be blessed. And at this point in time, people joining us online, let's welcome Brother Ibukun for the first presentation of the day.
Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Everybody's still sleeping. This is the most energetic man right here in your eyes. I see them. Come on, everybody stand up for just a moment. Stand up for just a moment. All right. We're going to stretch out a little bit just because. All right, go ahead. Put your hands in the air. All right, back down. All right, a little back and forth. All right, that's good enough. Have a seat. Have a seat. I do that for myself. So just a tip, when I was a student, if you're up studying late at night, eyes can get heavy. I have been that person in the classroom who's dozed a little bit. So don't be shy if you're snoozing a little bit. Get up. They won't mind. So that's my college tip for the day. So, college financial aid. This is something I think is very important to me just because, and I'll go over some statistics here in just a little bit. college debt, student loan debt, is something that's burdening our country. There's a statistic out there that shows that student loan debt is close behind mortgages as far as overall debt that people carry. And that's a shame on our country. It's a shame on how we've set things up. And it's something that's put a lot of people behind as far as how they can move forward financially. And it's something that we don't have to do. It's a trend that we don't have to continue. So we're going to speak a little bit about financial aid. So why is financial aid important? Anybody? Anybody? Amen. Free money. I agree. Anybody else? Wonderful. Why is financial aid important? So you don't have to pay that much for college? As much for college. Okay. Say that again? So you can get paid while you go to college. You're going to school to learn how to make money, but you're making money while you're there. I like that. Okay. It provides support for students to help pay for college, for their degree. And they enable people who might otherwise not have access to education to get that education. Okay. Next slide, please. It's important so we can avoid student loan debt. So just some statistics here. You can't really see that on the screen, but I have a breakout here just about ages of people who are student loan borrowers. So people in the age group from under 25, they account for about 16% of those who are borrowing. People from ages 25 to 34, they account for 32%. People of ages from 35 to 49 account for 31%. And people from 50 and up account for the last, it's about 22%. People who are 50 years old and they're still taking out loans, that's not a positive thing by any means. Or if you're still paying off your loans at 50 years old. What's the retirement age? Does anybody know? I don't. 65? 70? What did it used to be back in like the 1990s? What was the retirement age? Pastinka, do you know? What was the retirement age? Because they keep moving it up. People keep living longer, but it was 60. Wasn't there a point in time when it was in the 50s? Yeah, so that they want people to live long so they can continue paying these loans. That's not going to be our portion in Jesus' name. When we get to our 50s, we're not going to be paying anybody. This is the home of the what? I'm going to go call Bishop. Nobody's hearing. This is the home of the wealthy where champions are raised. In case you didn't know that, you guys are sleeping. This is the home of the what? All right, let's do that together. All right, one more time. This is the home of the
wealthy place where champions are raised.
Amen. All right. All right. Faith comes by hearing. We need to hear that a few more times before that sinks in. All right. Why else is financial aid important? I have another statistic here that shows bachelor degree recipients who used federal financial aid. And I'm sorry, these slides are extremely tiny, so you'll just have to trust what I say since you can't see it. From Asian students, it was 44% of them used federal financial aid. White students, 68% of them used. Hispanic or Latino, 70% used. Black students, 86% used financial aid as far as loans. That's a pretty high percent. Just something to be aware of, okay? Let's talk about the different types of degrees and the type of debt that people leave college with. On this screen right here, we see that people with bachelor degrees, the average debt is $28,000 or $29,000. For graduate school loans, we're looking at $71,000, okay? Parent Plus loan student debt, that's $28,000. Law school debt, that's $145,000. I don't know. If I'm going to law school, I need to get the class that teaches me how I can litigiously make my way out of paying for that. That's just me. So MBA students, $66,000. Medical school, $201,000. $201,000. That's a lot of debt. So I'm not going to go there. Dental school debt, $292,000. Yeah, if I was a dentist, I would be telling you that you have cavities just so I could. Every time you have a perfect smile. You know, I see something there. I have 5 payments to make up on, and my wife is pregnant. In Jesus' name, you have too many cavities. Hey, people start doing desperate things when they have debt, right? I question your dentist next time you have a cavity. Just get a second. I'm just saying. All right. Pharmacy school, $179,000. Oh, that's a lot. Nursing school, $23,000. Veterinarian school, $183,000 to save little puppy Joe. Man. All right. Right? So what is student financial aid? Student financial aid is the funding that's available exclusively to students attending post-secondary education. The funding is used to assist in covering many costs incurred during the pursuit of post-secondary education. And what are the types of financial aid that are available? And I'm going to go through these in the order that I think are of priority. So number 1, concurrent enrollment. Number 2, scholarships. Number 3, grants. Number 4, work study. Number 5, campus jobs. And number 6, as a last resort, student loans, okay? So let's talk about concurrent enrollment. So for our parents who have students who are still in high school, for our middle school parents, let's start talking about that. What is concurrent enrollment? Concurrent enrollment is when you're still in high school and you're taking college course classes and you're getting credit for it. In my opinion, that's one of the best options for financial aid. You graduate from high school and you've paid 50% of your college education. And when we just went back and we looked at these statistics as far as like bachelor's degree, we were looking at $28,000 for student debt, you know. You're graduating high school, you've already paid for $15,000, $20,000. When you're in high school and you're taking those college level classes, thinking about what you're making per hour by doing concurrent enrollment. I don't know if anybody has a calculator at the time, but that's a significant amount of money. So how do you get to, has anybody here done concurrent enrollment? Okay. Obviously, this is home of the champions, home of the wealthy, because we have people who understand the value there. But number 1, you need to be under 21 years of age. You need to be enrolled in, most public schools make this available. You need to have good Accuplacer, CCPT, ACT, or SAT scores appropriate, or the right classes approved, or a grade waiver for qualifications. And you definitely need to have approval from your counselor and your parent. If you have issues with your counselor, you may need to go to a different counselor. We have, and this is just a side note, if you know that you qualify for some things, there's a place where parents do need to come in and advocate for their children. Okay. Not everybody knows this, but there are many people who are well qualified, gifted, and talented. And many times for people within our communities, the educators may not push our students forward in the right way, or may do things to hold them back, okay? Or they may not make this information known to them. So it is something that happens. I've seen it. I've experienced it. My wife has experienced it. And just an example, I'll share this. So we graduated over 20 years ago, and for my wife, I'll share her story. I'm sure she doesn't mind. She was ahead. advanced in her studies. Junior year in high school, you are supposed to sign up for your senior year classes, and it needs to be approved by your counselor. So she had all her classes picked out, and she went to her counselor to get it approved. And the counselor's response was, you know what, I don't want you to fail. This workload is too much for you, and I'm not going to approve it. You can't do it, okay? She knew what she can do. She knew what's possible for her, and she was very upset, obviously. So she went to a different counselor. And it shouldn't have to be this way, but a counselor who looked more like her, who did believe in her and approved the classes. You know, she graduated well. She graduated with very high marks and moved on. Parents, you have to be very involved and engaged with what's going on with your students. And you have to be an advocate. You can't take whatever the school's at face value, okay? So that's just a side note. That was one thing about concurrent enrollment. Let's talk about scholarships. Scholarships are another great source of free money. Money for college that are offered by many companies, schools, nonprofits, and other organizations. The main difference between a scholarship and a grant is that they're based more on they're not just on financial need, okay? There are several types of scholarships awarded to students based on several different scenarios. So academic excellence is where you can get scholarships from. Students studying in an in-demand field. So if you're studying some type of medicine, some type of IT profession, something STEM related, if there is a major that you're going after, there's particular scholarships available for that. Athletic scholarships, so track stars, basketball, football, tennis, gymnastics, any of these things. If you're a great athlete and the college has those programs, you can get scholarships for that. There's also scholarships for students of different ethnic groups and things like that. When it comes to scholarships, you've got to be very creative because there are thousands of scholarships that are out there. Sometimes they look at what you've done throughout your high school career, and those are the things that might qualify you for some of those scholarships. So again, parents, as your students are going to school, the academic part, yes please, is just one part. God bless you, thank you, sir. Excuse me. The academic part is just one part of your education. Going to high school, you need to look at it as a portfolio experience. What all is in your portfolio? So yes, you're doing your regular academics, but what clubs are you in? Are you volunteering? What sports are you a part of? All those things are part of your portfolio that people who give scholarships and colleges are looking at before they grant you entrance to the college or they give you a scholarship. So clubs like DECA, FBLA, National Honor Society, there's specific scholarships for some of those different clubs. Businesses, so Walmart, Target, many of these places give different types of scholarships. And your employer as well. There's many employers that might have different scholarships for the children, for your children. So we'll go more into that. Grants. College grants are given to students who have a financial need, with funds coming mostly from federal and state government. The needs to qualify for a grant can include but are not limited to family and income status, the cost of the school, or disability status. Major government-funded grants include the federal Pell Grants, federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grants, Iraq and Afghanistan Service Grants, Teacher Education Assistance for College and Higher Education, TEACH grants. That's a pretty big one. There's a big shortage of teachers, so I think we're starting to see more investment to get more teachers in that profession. And that is something that's definitely very critical. Again, grants are something that's more based off of your income and your need there. Another form of financial aid is work study. Okay, work study is basically when you're working for perhaps a different department while you're in school. Some of the most popular work-study jobs are fitness center positions, research positions, computer lab positions, library positions, or off-campus positions. So benefits of work-study, that includes it provides a part-time employment while you're enrolled in school. You may gain experience in your field. It's available to undergraduate or graduate and professional students with financial needs. Hours usually work around your class schedule. That's a pretty big deal right there. Oftentimes when you're in college, many people just go ahead and get regular jobs. Regular jobs don't really care, unless you have a really good manager. They don't care so much about your school schedule. What's priority is your hours at work. They don't really prioritize your education because that's not what you're there for. So work study is definitely a good option because when you're on campus, education is the primary focus. And your employer is the school, and they understand they have to work around your hours, okay? Another benefit, it's available to both part-time and full-time students. The amount you earned can't exceed your total federal work-study award. The earnings from your work-study do not count against your Fafsa. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the Fafsa. The Fafsa is something that's used to find out how much you qualify for financial aid. The more money you make, sometimes the less money that you qualify for. So when you're making money during a work-study program, that does not have an adverse effect on the money that's available to you through the Fafsa. And again, most jobs are located on campus. Okay. Campus jobs, benefits of those, they're flexible and convenient and in a convenient location. Again, you gain work and experience and build your skills. Most blatant, most clear, money, you make money. Real world values, you meet new people and you build your network. One of the things about college, you're there for an education, but you're also there to build your network. Many times the people who you're in school with will be the people who might be able to help you find a new job. That can be 5, 10, or even 20 years later. So keep that in mind. When you're in school, definitely focus on your academics, but take time and build those relationships. Get to know people. Be there for them, let them be there for you, and stay in contact. So those are some different forms of financial aid. So now we'll go into loans. As you can see, the frustration on these people's face, that is a last resort. Hopefully we don't have to go there. Hopefully our high school students, I'm gonna be working with you guys more as we go on. That's gonna be a continuous process here with this church. Maybe on a quarterly basis, we'll have events where we perhaps sit down, have some pizza, and search and hunt for scholarships. After doing scholarships, we'll take time to actually fill them out. Going through the application completion process for the first time may be a little bit more daunting if you've never done it before. So if we do it together, you can get used to it. By the time our students graduate high school, I think it's a reasonable goal for us to have at minimum 75% of their college expenses covered. Dorian, do you think that's reasonable? Dabo, do you think that's reasonable? It's not a far-fetched thing. If we work hard and invest the time, you can get your full college paid for. Loans, what type of student loans are there? There are direct subsidized loans. These loans are made to eligible undergraduate students who demonstrate financial need to help cover the costs of higher education at a college or career school. Direct unsubsidized loans are loans made to eligible undergraduate or graduate and professional students, but eligibility is not based on financial need. Okay. Direct plus loans are loans made to graduate or professional students and parents of dependent undergraduate students to help pay for education expenses not covered by other financial aid. Eligibility is not based on financial aid, but a credit check is required. So direct plus, after your education is paid for, you may need help with books, you may need help with your living situation, any of those incidentals, you can still get money to help cover those expenses, but it's not tied to specifically your education, okay? And direct consolidation loans, these are oftentimes after you finish your education. People going through college may get several different student loans, and a direct consolidation loan It allows you to combine all of your eligible federal student loans into a single loan with a single loan servicer. And that is a benefit just because when you have so many different bills, you might lose track of one. You're just finishing up with college, you're going into your profession. Hopefully things don't get lost in the mix. So how do we go about getting financial aid? Just a quick warning here. Time is running out for the 21-22 school year for Fafsa applications. They need to be completed by June 30th, midnight. So anybody who has already, basically just keep that in mind. Let's move on to the Fafsa. What is the Fafsa? That is the free application for federal student aid. That's the first step that many people need to take to start applying for financial aid. Okay. Let's go ahead and play that video for just a moment, Debo.
You may have heard the expression, life is not about the destination, but the journey. Well, getting an education is an important part of that journey, and you can get money to help you pay for it. Each year, billions of dollars become available through the free application for federal student aid form, known as the Fafsa form. Just fill it out. The application offers access to federal student aid, grants, loans, work-study funds. States and schools also use the Fafsa form to distribute their own grants and scholarships. Where can you get the Fafsa form? We post the Fafsa form on October 1st for the next school year. It's available at fafsa.gov in both English and Spanish. You can also fill out the Fafsa form on the My Student Aid mobile app. So, let's get started. You'll need your Social Security number, alien registration number if you're not a U.S. citizen, and possibly your federal income tax return, W-2s, and other records to show money you earned. You may be able to take advantage of the Internal Revenue Service Data Retrieval tool. This tool lets you securely transfer information from your federal tax return to the Fafsa form, so you can complete the Fafsa form more quickly. In addition, we recommend creating an FSA ID, which is your account username and password. Once you fill out the online application, you can electronically sign it with your unique FSA ID. You can also use your FSA ID to access the My Student Aid mobile app, sign loan contracts, and access certain information online. Your FSA ID is your digital signature. Create your own only once. Parents and students should keep their FSA IDs separate. Why? The FSA ID is a legal signature. It shouldn't be shared. Sharing it may result in unauthorized changes to your account, or it may delay your financial aid. Plus, you'll need your FSA ID to renew your Fafsa form each year. So, protect your information by making your FSA ID your own and keep it safe and secure. Your Fafsa form has 3 sets of questions to answer. Personal information, which includes your name, email address, marital status, and schools you're interested in. Financial information, such as your income and assets. Certain personal and financial information about your legal parent if you're a dependent student. Not sure about your dependency status? Visit studentaid.gov/dependency to find out who must provide parent information on the Fafsa form. Also, learn what to do if you live with only one parent or you aren't in contact with your parents. You can also ask the financial aid staff at your college or career school for help figuring this out. Since colleges and career schools use the Fafsa form to consider you for financial aid programs, the form asks you to list all the schools you are considering. Be sure to list a school even if you haven't applied to the school or received an acceptance letter yet. You can always go back and update the list later if needed. One great feature of the Fafsa form is that it may let you skip some questions that don't pertain to you. And if you're not sure how to answer a question, you can chat with a knowledgeable agent on our Contact Center webpage. Submitting your application online, remember, if you are a dependent student, your parent must use his or her own FSA ID to sign the form as well. Submitting your Fafsa application online is often the fastest and easiest option, but you can also Fill out the PDF version, which you can print out and drop in the mail. Submit the form in the My Student Aid mobile app, or ask your college or career school to submit the FAFSA form for you. If you provided an email address and submitted your form online, you'll receive an email within a few days. It will let you know we processed your application. Once we process it, an administrator from any school that you listed on the form and that has accepted you for admission will contact you to let you know what aid you're eligible for at the school. Congrats, you're one step closer to getting money for school and starting on one of life's most exciting journeys. For more helpful resources on eligibility, deadlines, and items you'll need to fill out the FAFSA form, visit studentaid.gov.
Thank you very much. We're going to start wrapping up here. I think some things I want to say in closing. When does the process begin to start looking for financial aid? Anybody? No, not for the FAFSA, not for the FAFSA, but for financial aid in general. When does that process begin? The process for beginning the search of financial aid in general begins your freshman year. Okay. For us, it begins your freshman year. Okay. Why is it that way? It begins because at that time, you need to start tracking all of the activities that you're doing that may help qualify you for financial aid. So we have a lot of people in this church, a lot of our youth who are volunteering in some capacity. You need to track that. How many hours are you serving? And what capacity are you serving? Okay. The sports that you're involved with, you need to track that. Okay. That's your curricular activities. You need to track that. Freshman year is the time that parents need to sit down and work out a game plan. What are you going to be doing for the next 2 years in the high school? What clubs are you going to be a part of? What student organizations are you going to be a part of? And you start tracking those, okay? That's what you're going to be doing your freshman and your sophomore year. Junior year is when we start looking at filling out the FAFSA. Junior year is when you start getting in touch with your financial aid department within your high school. Any public high school in Colorado has a student financial aid department. It's important to get in a good relationship with that counselor and start having those conversations about what opportunities are available for you, because they can start guiding you as to things you can do or scholarships that you can be a part of, classes you can take or clubs you can be a part of that can help better qualify you, okay? Junior year, your part-time job is applying for scholarships. That is your part-time job. Let's get that into the mentality of our students here. How many hours per week are you spending applying for scholarships, okay? And that process continues until you're done with school. It's not that when you get into college, you are not searching anymore. It continues. While you're in school, you keep searching. You're in your freshman, you're in your senior year of college, keep searching for those scholarships. We do not want any of our students leaving college with debt, okay? I think that last slide just shows a lot of the different sites that are available to search for scholarships. There are, again, thousands of scholarships out there. We're going to continue working together to search for those and keep it moving. In closing, this is the home of the... Don't let Bishop watch this because he's not. This is the home of the... One more time. This is the... And it's the wealthy place where champions are raised, not just because we say it, but because of the things that we diligently do on a consistent basis. Pastor Yinka, it's all you. Pastor Kemi, thank you.
Let's give a round of applause to Brian Bukune again. Like you said, I mean, we cannot just pour everything today. Basic start. I wish parents too will be, anytime they call for kids, I've learned a lot of information like was parents to guide our kids to make sure we're on top. But once again, thank you, Brian Buku. We are going to have question and answer for all the panels here. Brother Debot, we have his spare microphone. So I'm going to still give it to Bride because so any part of audience, maybe if there's anything that comes online, let's read it out so that they can answer it here. So let's get it here. So anyone that has questions, let me get it.
This is just for clarity. What are the criteria to qualify for the college work study or the work study?
Okay, that's a great question. First of all, if you're within a particular major, so let's say you're studying mechatronics, okay? Before you can get work study within that program, you need to be enrolled within that program. And it's all dependent on the criteria of that department. So we may not have that specific, it's based on the need and based on the, major that you're in, okay? That's for work study. For on-campus jobs, there's usually not a requirement. They apply, students apply and interview and get those positions, but there's usually not a requirement except for being a student within the school. Don't be shy.
It's an opportunity, especially for you kids going to college. Even if it's not about this, you have any question pertaining your prep and everything, you want to ask the question so that we can learn from people that's passed through it.
What grade levels do we have in here right now as far as our high schoolers? What grade levels do we have?
Yeah, freshman.
Freshman? Okay. What else? 11? So we have a junior. Okay. Our juniors in here, have we started the process yet for financial aid? You haven't filled that out yet? One more time, please. Okay. So that's step one, filling out that Fafsa form, okay? Definitely going to have your parents help out with that. And that's another thing. We definitely need parents buy-in for our students to get that Fafsa form taken care of. That is one constraint, the parents buy-in and their willingness to help with that. That does involve tax information. Some people are very guarded with that. If that's the case, perhaps go to a trusted financial advisor to have it filled out there. But don't let that get in the way, please.
Yeah, my question, we sat down with my son's advisor in school, and he asked us to go to a website, put in all this information, how much assets you have, how much income. So what he was just telling us based on the outcome was that, okay, it looks like you're gonna be paying 20,000, 30,000 per annum for your school education based on the outcome of that site. So we have not applied or gone to any other Fafsa thing or any other aid thing. But I think that's just the level to which he knew and believed in. It's carrying us along, but he was just like, prepare your mind for 30,000, prepare your mind for this thing. So what steps are we going to take further to alleviate that? Now he's in senior, he's going to senior. What's the first thing he's going to do now when he gets to his senior year?
That's a great question. So when it comes to the Fafsa, there is a range that they look at in regards to income. We may have people where it looks like they're earning a very high income on paper, but they may have many different responsibilities, such as mortgage. They may be paying their own student loans as well. There's many different things. So even if you don't qualify for that much in regards to financial aid, filling out the Fafsa is just step one, okay? The next step is applying for scholarships. So grants are on a need-based, okay? FAFSA helps you find things that are on need-based. Need-based means you're making a certain amount, so you're less likely able to pay for college, okay? Scholarships are not need-based, okay? Scholarships look at, are you performing at a certain academic level? We want to continue supporting you because that's an investment in our society, and we're going to get a return on that investment. That's what scholarships are looking at. Athletic scholarships, even if you're making a lot of money, they want to sweeten that, because if you come as an athlete, that is a type of income for the school. Because if people are coming to games, if people are buying apparel, that is an investment for the school. So yes, they're going to pay you in a certain amount, okay? So when we're looking at the FAFSA and grants, those are need-based. That's fine. What we're focusing on is how do we hunt for those scholarships? So they're not just looking at the income and holding us back from that. They did say, yeah, he's going to be, what was that amount, 20,000, 30,000, prepare for that? Yes, prepare for that. Our preparation is searching for the scholarships to pay that, so it's not out of your pocket.
So even with the FAFSA and everything like that, once they have an idea of the school they want to go to, there's in-house scholarships too. So they have like early decision for most schools. Early decision gets you more money because that's, the first set of kids that they're taking on. The early decisions always have stipulations too, so always be careful with that, because some of them, they lock you in. Like once you decided you actually have to come here, but we'll give you this much money. So aside from what the number they threw at you, I don't think you should be scared just yet. Based on performance, the school can offer additional funds in that area, but especially if he's going to be a senior starting August. Early decision is November for early decision. And again, there's a lot more money in that time before they do the normal enrollment for everybody else.
You bring up a great point there, the early decisions. That means you need to have applied for your school and you're accepted by December in your high school senior year.
You already know where you're going, yeah.
Okay, so that brings us back. Let's talk a little bit about that. When should we start applying for schools? Okay, so by your junior year, what are you doing to prepare to apply for the different schools? Some people aren't thinking about the college they want to go to until after they've graduated high school. But that's a very good point right there. So who could tell us about that? When should we start applying to get into a school?
Okay, so based on my personal experience.
You didn't know you're presenting today, did you?
No, but I just did it like last year, so I'm kind of like refreshed. But basically, it's all based on what you did over your high school career. So if you feel like, for example, you didn't do well throughout your whole high school career, you could wait off until the regular decisions, so you can prove to the colleges during the first semester of your senior year to show them that you've changed and that you see like progress. They want to see progress and stuff like that. But mostly, and they always say this, most colleges accept during early decisions or early action, just because it's the first set of kids and they just want to get them. But like regular decisions is just like, okay, select few just to try to fill in the seats. So we do recommend doing a regular action, and not also the difference between regular action and regular decision is regular decision is binding. So if you really want to go to that school, that's the only way you can go in, and they will not allow you to go any other school. Whereas regular action is more flexible, so you're the first set to get accepted, but you still have lenience to decline the offer and stuff like that. But in regards to the whole general question of when you should apply to colleges, I would recommend September, October, just because you do want to finalize your college essays, your letter of recs, and stuff like that, which you should be able to do like during August, September, October. So to answer your question, yeah, senior year. If you have anyone junior year, yeah, but senior year you need to finalize your college essays, your letter of recs, which is 2, and yeah, so October is the best time.
Okay, so you mentioned a couple of things that are very important there. Your college essays and your letters of recommendation. Okay, so throughout your junior year, before the end of your junior year, you should have your college essays complete and your letters of recommendation. So going back to when we said the process for beginning or preparing for financial aid begins your freshman year, you sat down with your parents, or parents, you sat down with your students, your children, and talked about what activities they're going to be involved with, okay? When they're involved with sports, when they're involved with volunteering, the people who are overseeing those activities are going to be the ones who write those letters of recommendation. So for all of our youth in this church who have been volunteering in some capacity, they've been faithful, they've added great value to what's going on over here. They qualify for letters of recommendation. So from your teachers and from different places that you've volunteered at. Thank you so much for sharing that. You know, I have another question for you. Yes, you're on the panel today. Tell us a little bit about some of the extracurricular activities that you did throughout your high school career.
Okay. So for my extracurricular activities, I did do FBLA, and that is also something that is a national-wide organization, or whatever you call it. So
that's Future Business Leaders of America.
So they do have credibility in that. I kind of quit it because I didn't like it. But anything really that is just, colleges really like to look at consistency. So if you have like a long list of colleges or organizations or clubs, and you're like member, they don't really take it seriously. But if you're a president, co-president, owner, they kind of see that you kind of worked your way up, because anybody could really be a member. But, excuse me, so I was kind of in like medical careers, things that kind of pertain to me. I was like in the Aurora Police Department committee, things in the, what's it called, county, God, I don't remember it much anymore. Like, just a lot of community service. Don't remember them. But like, I did a lot. Let me just put it like that.
Okay.
Speech and debate. Those are very important as well, because it just kind of shows that you're well-spoken as well, and you kind of know what's going on in the world, because they do ask you questions pertaining to the things in the world. Yeah, but...
Were you the part of any affinity groups?
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, also affinity groups as well. So groups regarding, like, your ethnic groups and stuff like that. Those are very important. Activism and stuff like that, kind of fighting for what you believe in, they do tend to make you stand out as well. I was a part of like the Black Student Alliance. I was the president of it too, so I was able to kind of gain credibility for that as well. So
leadership.
Yeah.
Didn't you do sports as well?
I did, but I got injured. So.
But you did?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I don't know if anybody was keeping count there. I counted 5 or 6 different extracurricular activities. She said speech and debate, FBLA, DECA, speech and debate.
Asian Student Alliance, African American Alliance, and stuff like that, African stuff. And then just community service, and then just advocating, so like civil stuff.
Didn't you volunteer at Kingdom Connection Christian Center in some capacity? Yeah? That's a huge one. And how many hours do you think you clocked in over there? A lot. Okay. So those are 10 different extracurricular. So when we're talking about your high school career, that's a portfolio of events that she's been involved with, not just school. So if I'm a school, I'd love to have her in, because she's going to add a lot of value to what we have going on there. Yes, I want to give you somebody to come to my school. You're going to make me look good. Okay.
So not quite a question, but just really, so how do you go about it? So when you were talking about the fact that you should start thinking about your student, aid from your freshman, I think thinking about college, you should start thinking about it from your freshman as well. We recommend having like a portfolio, like we've all been saying, and in your portfolio you have your academic stuff, you have your brag file, which is essentially all the things you do, both in school, outside school, and it is very easy for you to forget what you've done. So we all know you, to an extent, and we can even testify, and I'm sure you put them all in your application, and that's why, you're a star student, and everybody wants you. But if you don't put things down at the time when it's happening, and you have to, retrospectively put things down, you would forget things. And so in doing all this from your freshman, we recommend you have just like a resume that you keep updating you have a folder that you keep updating, one for student loans, one for applications for schools, and then it could be both electronic as well as paper, and that way you're updating it. Barbara could ask us, how many hours are you spending looking for loans? Or, you wouldn't be able to do that if you don't have it as a portfolio that you're updating, per semester that you're going in. It's just one of the things that with the loan, you have a pathway. I was going to talk about how to apply for colleges, but every school is different. So, every school will get you like, this is your senior year checklist. This is the date where you should be doing this. This is the date where you should be doing that. And so from your freshman, you should start having that pathway, maybe on the vision board of this is where I am, this is where I should be doing at my, sophomore, this is where I should be doing as a junior and as senior. And you have the big deals there. And then you have sub underneath it. It helps you to have everything together rather than, oh, this might be important, this might be important.
That's an amazing point. I totally agree with that. I think something that we could start doing here at the Home of the Wealthy is actually having professional resumes at freshman year, and it gets updated once a year to show all the different things that you do. It's not a mock resume, it's an actual resume, so I love that you said that. That's something we could start implementing.
I know everybody has said everything about applying for college and all that. The only thing that I would love to add, and I'm saying this from my own personal experience, is I wish parents are here to hear this. We need to get involved. Just telling the kids to know about this, know about that, it's just like, we always believe that. I send her to school, I send him to school. He comes back, he's a good kid, that's it. No, it's more than that. You have to get involved. Most of these kids, they have the knowledge, but they don't know how to go about it. So by getting them to help, follow them to what they need to do, be involved in their activities, let them know that you are interested. That will motivate them to go extra level in whatever they need to get. So that's just my own piece of advice, that parents need to get involved, know about the scholarship they are talking about, know about those activities. When they ask you questions, even though you don't know where to get those answers. That's the work of parents that we need to do. We need to take extra mile, especially African parents. We need to get better with that. It's more than just sending kids to school. Go to school, come back, bring grades. No. I'll be a good kid. No. Get involved with them. Go to their games, go to their activities, go to their whatever they are doing in school, their debate. Let them know you are interested, so that when the bill comes, guess what? You won't be scared because you already prepared that kid to be successful. That's just my own two piece.
I absolutely agree. Thank you so much, Brian. I've had a conversation with my girls before they can walk, before they can fully speak. We had a conversation that I'm not paying for college, and it's not a joke. We've had legitimate daddy-daughter conversations that daddy's not paying for college. Not that I don't want to. That money that can be for college should be invested perhaps into their first homes. Okay, and it's not a hope. It's a legitimate plan. Right now, what time is it? Okay. No, my daughter has a gymnastics competition today. She was at practice this morning. That I just came from dropping her to that. From here, I'm going to go pick her up and take her to a competition in Elizabeth. So she's 8 years old, and she's already learning discipline at a young age, practice at a young age. She's involved, and I have to be there as well as a parent. The coaches treat her different because they know daddy's watching. As I was there today, I saw from a distance how they were working with my girl versus theirs. And when they knew daddy was watching, I saw them give a little bit more attention to daddy's little girl. These things matter.
Yes, being involved is important. I'm not too sure. The first thing is knowing who your child's counselor is. Because like you were talking about earlier, some counselors should not be counselors, but they're there. And if you know that your child is not getting the best from them, counselors have so many resources under them, and some of them just don't share it, or they're just not doing their job. Know your child's counselor. It's easy for us to say, you know, start from freshman year. But how old are kids in freshman year? 13?
13.
They're not there yet, to be quite honest. They're not, unless there's very few that are like, you know, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to go. And if you have a child like that, that is great. You can start mapping out, you know, what ACT, SAT scores need to look at. But a lot of kids sometimes, they're just in high school. They're just there for fun and new places, new things. They're going through peer pressure, hormones, all that stuff. So parents have to be on top of it and ease them into it, because it is a lot. Like, looking back, hindsight is 20/20. And I wish that my parents were a lot more involved. They just sent me to school, and I came back with good grades. So that's all that like really mattered at the end of the day. So yes, know your schools, your students' counselors are. Meet with your counselors when they. I don't know if they do student-teacher meetings anymore as seniors or in high school anymore. I know they did it a lot, like elementary and middle school. But meet with the counselors, meet with the teachers, know who your kids' teachers are, what classes they're taking also. So if anything is happening, it's a simple discussion of how can we, you know, change it around. Because like P said, sometimes you don't do well in school. And that is okay. You know, that is okay. But how can we get you back on track? Because you don't want a situation where they're now seniors and you're like, oh, your GPA didn't make it, so we have to find other alternatives. You know what I'm saying? Be on top of it from the beginning, even if they don't understand it. And especially if you're having children, this is your first child going into college, by the last child, you'll get it for sure. But start now. Start now to be involved with them. And it's another full-time job on top of the full-time job of raising the children too. But it will help you in the long run, and it makes it easier for the other ones too.
Dawn,
Go ahead.
you're making a very good point as far as with the first child. I think it's good for parents to prioritize as best as you can, whatever you can, for that first child. Because in many cases, that first child is going to be the sub-parent for the children that follow after. Dawn, we can see already the job that you've done with Fadekemi and Kunle. All right, peace. We already see what you're doing, my man up there. There's just something that happens with older siblings. I saw it in my family as well. Something that you kind of touched on that I think is important. Everything that we've been speaking about here is kind of on the offensive. How can we aggressively go out there and get it for our children? Something we should also be aware of is on the defensive. What types of things should we do to protect our kids to make sure that they don't have any labels or things on their academic record that may look bad as they're moving forward? Okay. I'll speak from my experience, not from what I heard of what I've seen. We have labels sometimes, people of color. We have labels. I was labeled as I was going through school. Was it something that people specifically said? I'll give you a prime example. There was a day in high school that my dean approached me and asked me what's going on and what's wrong. What's wrong? I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? The role of a dean is a disciplinarian, primarily. When there's kids who are having behavioral problems, that's who they go to see. So when she asked me what's wrong, she hasn't seen me in a while. What's going on? She's saying, why are you not in trouble? You're behaving. You should be in my office for disciplinary reasons. What's wrong? Okay? So what she saw was I was not acting according to the stereotype that I should be under. Okay? Parents, especially African parents, there is a history that you're walking into that you're not aware of. Your children don't have the same accent as you. They are already labeled in a certain way. You can be blind to it and say, my children are not like that. Your children are black. Like it or not. It's simply good to be aware of it. Not to be upset or angry, but simply when you have the awareness, you know how to navigate better. Okay. I was fortunate that my mother was very as much as possible involved and proactive in ways that she needed to be. There's certain things that she had to learn kind of on the back end, but be aware. If you have issues, specifically behavioral issues with your students, especially young males, you need to dig in a bit more. I'm going to wrap up with this because I don't know if we have something else coming up. I was having breakfast with my daughter the other day. That was this year. Just me and her. She's in 2nd grade. And she said, "Daddy," I was like, "What's going on?" Because I know she needs to eat her food and we need to get out the house pretty soon. But I said, "Let me see what's going on." "What's going on, babe?" "Do you remember that guy in my kindergarten class?" And she said the name. I don't want to share it because we're live. I said, "Yeah, what's going on?" She said, "He used to get in trouble a lot." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And she's like, "But he did the same thing as all the other boys, but he always was the one that got sent to the principal's office." And then she told me there was a day that he got sent to the principal's office 3 times in the same day. And he wasn't the one even starting things. Unfortunately, a lot of our students are labeled before they can read. He was in kindergarten, he's already been labeled, okay? In your spare time, read about the school to prison pipeline. I'll end at that. God will take care of things for us.
This give a round of applause. I think just to piggyback on what you were saying and what Doing said. So if you, as a freshman, and you're just there to have fun, that's where the parental involvement is key. You know, also the kids may think you don't need to. Like the FBLA, I know my son is part of it, they do need judges all the time. They always need volunteers. And believe it or not, being a volunteer in the school makes a big deal. Just like Berbigun was saying that once the coach saw that he was there, there's a way that they treat the child differently. You know, in my work as a practice, I am trained to say who is there with the child when they come to the clinic. Here with mom, here with dad. You know, how they interact, every single thing. It makes a difference, you know, when you see involvement and when maybe they come with a kid and the kid is just doing everything and they're on the phone or they're not able to volunteer. So like that FBLA, your child may not really want to do all the, go for all of it, but if you have volunteered to be a judge or to be, for the speech and debate to be a judge, somehow that's how the involvement starts. It's commitment, like we say. And, so in doing all of this, I think one of the things we're taking home is both the work of the parents as well as the child, and the partnership with the school, getting to know the counselor. And in all of this, then we will be able to be ahead when it is time. Praise the Lord.
Thank you, everyone. That's deep. Again, we cannot exhaust all this information this morning. Yes, we'll take a break. Before we take a break, once again, let's give Brother Ibukun for a round of applause. So this is going to be a continuation. I believe our people, because information is very important. What distinguishes you from the other person is the information you have. It doesn't mean the person have 2 heads. My kids, so when they are talking about involvement, because nothing, there's no way I'll be so busy I won't have to go around. But the school district that my kids go to, anyone that go to Cherry Creek School District, you see, it seems their wives are not working. I don't know. I don't know what they are or what they do. But you see these white ladies, they call them type A because they are always involved. You see them running everything. They are sitting on their teachers, on everything. I mean, the school district, I don't know the percentage of blacks in those schools goes to Cherry Creek. So I see those ladies, anything they are doing, this activity they are doing the award, the grandparents, the great grandparents, everybody. We be there. For the girls out, my grandparent is from Colorado Springs. So for us, we think. So I know that for us, we have to even to do the double thing that they are doing. Because though even they are white, they are still on top. You see the wives all around, they coming from gym or whatever, wearing gym wear, they're always running around. So it's an encouragement. That's why when we have this kind of gathering, is to not only for our kids, they are doing, thank God, they know God, they are doing good, but it's more than that. We can't close our eyes on what they're doing. So, and that's what we're going to be talking. How can we free our time so that we can have time to spend on our kids, on our children? We can be there for them. So we don't have to be doing 3-4 jobs. And then we are not keeping an eye. We don't even know what they're doing. So once again, thank you. We're going to end this first session. I think we have the our light refreshment. Let's take about, let's be back here about, it's 11, what now? 11:21? 23. Let's be back about 11:33, 10 minutes break so that we can jump on to the next session. Yeah, this is rich. Anytime we have this kind of, I'm always blessed. I've learned a lot, even today, what they are discussing. I'm sending my first kid to college now, so I need to learn. Thank you. We'll see you shortly. Yeah, if you're, can we come in so that we can get going? Anyone that is in the lobby or... Yeah, if, I mean, like, my wife, you need any resources, everything, this is going to be their form of continuity. Reach out to, we post their college and career, follow up, and we'll be talking about what college and career, KCC college and career, we'll be doing again to make sure we keep this continuity with our students, our children, both in college, in high school. Okay, we are just going to dive into the last leg of our presentation. I think the first presentation is we just going right into how to apply grants, how to apply from high school to colleges. So we've kind of covered it. Thank you again for the presentation and the panels that answer all those questions in there. So now, one thing again that's stood out during that presentation is how do we, as a parent, how do we have time to be able to be in the life of our kids? How do we create that time to make sure we know what is going on in our kids' life? So we're going to be talking about how to create or how to build your wealth. How to start building your wealth so that at the end of the day, you can have your time to spend time. Spend time with your family, do what you want to do, and you know you are not boxed to someone's dictating your hours or dictating your time, dictating where you need to be for you. So again, I'm gonna be giving some nugget this morning on what we can do. It is not, by all means, is not exhaustive. So, but these are the key things that we're gonna be as we move on, that we're gonna be building on. So there are some nuggets that's going to be released this morning, how to create and how to build your wealth so that you can be your own boss, you can be the one planning, scheduling your time. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things here, and I'm going to talk about different types of incomes that you make, and where I will advise you need to be, so you can be sitting in your spa and money is just rolling in for you, and your money is working for you. So we have three types of income, as we know. You have what is called the earned income, and you have what is called a portfolio income, and you have what is called a passive income. We need to start from somewhere, right? Unless you have that inheritance, that money just dropped for you from somewhere. But yeah, most of us start from earned income. And what is earned income? The earned income is classified as income, any taxable income you obtain from working your hourly or salary job, and revenue gained maybe from self-employment. So, as you know, what are the types of earned income? You have your wages, salary, and tips, earnings from gig economy work, self-employment earnings, royalties, honorarium, and long-term disability benefits. Those are the, samples of earned income. Earned income, someone is still controlling your life, so to say. That's the, excuse me. You might say it's, to some extent, it's consistent, but you are not controlling your time. You are not controlling what you can do. You are still working for someone with an income. Yes, we all, like I said at the beginning, we all need to start from somewhere. And income is great to get us going. So you master whatever your profession is. You are still working for someone. You are still, whether you are a doctor, you're a lawyer, you are still working for someone. You are still boxed into the an income. And we're going to talk about why they are different before we take to what you can do to start planning to take you to the next level, where you don't have to have someone controlling your hours, your time. And the other type of income you have is portfolio income. Portfolio income, I basically deal with, shares, stocks, everything like that. And portfolio income is an income earned through interest, dividends, and capital gains in a portfolio of investments, which is commonly portfolio income, like I said, includes like stocks, mutual funds, exchange, trade funds, bonds, peer-to-peer lending. Those are portfolio income. One thing with portfolio income is not as stable as your earned income. Because earned income, if they said they're going to pay you $5,000 per month or whatever you are getting as a salary, you know that every month that comes. But portfolio income is what it can go up and down. If you invest in stock, like what we see today, you invest in cryptocurrencies now, people are crying right now, So, yes, so those are the portfolio income. But again, it doesn't mean you cannot operate. You can operate on all these type of income at the same time. Yes, you can, but there should be a transitional, there should be a plan to be where you need to be. And the last one I want to talk about is passive income. Passive income is earned through any activity which may require an initial investment of time and money for the creation of sustainable long-term passive cash flow. Long-term passive income can be earned through, as we know, rental properties, real estate, crowdfunding, YouTube, blogging, income, and so on and so forth. Those are passive income. This where we need to operate between when we want to set ourselves free, from this being working for someone, we need to operate mostly in portfolio more of passive income, that you still have your portfolio. That's where you need to migrate to. So how do you get there? Before we talk what we can do in passive income, how do you, when you are in an income, what are the things that you can do to start planning, to start taking that steps to that I want to operate between that portfolio and passive income realm? How many years today? I know we have a lot of kids here today. I mean, I'm saying kids now, you guys are now adults, that has 2 or 3 incomes today. Whether and sitting in the audience, that you're operating 2 or 3 incomes. Great. 2 or 3. And then when I say 2 or 3 incomes, you are using the same hour, your 8 hours or whatever number of hours you work in a day, that's what you are using to operate those 3 incomes. It's not different hours that I worked 8 to 5, I need to go to another 7 to 8 shift. That's not what I'm talking about. So if you are working 8 hours shift in a day, 8 hours shift in a day is operating those 3 or 2 incomes. Yes, what I want to encourage you, anybody, you have to think about when you are in an income scenario, you need to think about having minimum of two income using the same hours you are working. How do you do that? I will start with, I always talk about people perfect. Either you perfect your talent, perfect your skills, or perfect whatever your profession that you are in. Make sure you are a master in it. Take for example, I can only talk. I'll talk from the experience. I mean, my wife or any other people here. Take for example, if you're a network engineer, for example. Let's start with that. And you perfect your skill set in that area. There's opportunity for you to use the same skill to provide service at the same time, if you know your environment, to provide the same service for another client, another vendor, using the same hours that you are running. I'm not saying you are spending 24 hours working. So what does that do you? You have that, you can start building your capital to take you to the next level. Is what you're doing that you love doing that's making money for you. If it's your talent, perfect it. I always tell people when I talk to people, we mentor people, imagine, I always like to do what I love doing and money is coming and I don't see that as a stress. Think about people playing basketball. Think about people playing soccer or whatever sport they are playing. They are making good money. But they are enjoying. It's not that about it. They are enjoying what they are doing. It's like they're having fun. They're going to basketball court. They want to, they're having fun. And they are getting paid for that. That's where you need to start with your profession. If you start from an income, that you know what, I need to set a goal for myself. I need to have a plan. What if I'm a nurse or if I'm a this? What can I, in this line of profession, what can I tap into that I can still use the same thing I'm doing to make extra money? It's not, it's not that I'm looking for another job doing the same. Is there any specific thing I can do this that can generate money for me? So that's what we need to start thinking, which can be, if we get to that can become your passive income. Because you are using your initial investment of time, and over time, it continues to generate income for you. So when you have that, imagine you do 2 or 3, you are not bound to someone that, okay, 8 to 5, you have to do this. Then you can say, you can work your time that, okay, 12 to 2, I need to be at my kids' school. You can block it that yourself, that I need to be there. And you can move your schedule around. If they call, you can say, okay, can we meet at 10 or can we meet at 2 or 1, depending. That free your time to spend time with our kids, like what we are just saying. Because if we don't free ourselves, I understand in our community that we have to work, we have to do this, that's the excuse, we have to do that. That's the reason I can't leave my job, I can't leave this. But we can get out of that as we do our due diligence and plan. So we cover what passive income is, which most of us need to be with portfolio income. Passive income is more stable than portfolio, which we talk about one thing you can do in passive income to start, that you can start thinking about. There are a lot. So I'm just going to give a sample of what we can do. The advantage of the passive income, again, is that it gives you a cash flow, whether weekly, monthly, yearly. You can do some tax deductible, so you can pay much less tax. Nobody likes to pay tax. Yeah. And there's capital gains. When you sell, you make capital gains. So what we are going to cover as an example, in how we can start building this little by little, that we can build our empire. I will tell you that you don't have to take a loan to start building your empire. And you don't have to go into debt before you start building your wealth. There are little things that you can start slicing. And that's why I want to encourage our young adults. You start early. By the time you are depending, you start 25 or start very early. By the time you're 30, 35, you are financially free. You get married, you have time for your kids, you have time for family. You can do what you want to do. Less stress. Everybody is happy. Because we know the world we live today will bring a lot of stress. People don't even have time. You see some, they don't even see each other. They come in, the other is going. It's like, and the kids is like, even depending, I always say, even regardless of, even if you are making, I want to do a job, I want to be, and that's my prayer, to do things that my kids will say, I like what you're doing. You have time. It's not always, at times, it's not always about money. If you are making money and your kids cannot even see you, you can't be there when they need you, they will hate that kind of, either the job or the profession or what the person is doing. So that's what we want to make sure we, as in the wealthy place, like people say we should be repeating, we are champion and race, we are champions. We are unique. We need to set ourselves apart, and it is doable. I'm a living testimony to that. It's doable. So let's just give one example of what we need to do when we talk about in passive income, because I want to dwell more about passive income right now, because we know about the portfolio, we know most of it, we buy stocks, we buy this, we do that. Yeah, great. That's good. But you need to, regardless of anything you do, you need to have some kind of passive income coming to you. You need to have some plan to have a monthly cash flow that can use to pay your mortgage, to pay for this. You don't have to worry that if I don't complete this in an hour, these hours in a month, I'm going to be short. You can take your vacation when needed. So what I want to dwell into right now is, let's start biting it from real estate. As we know, real estate investment is it's the same across wherever you go. I got from my own experience, it's through my parents' real estate investment, I was able to go from high school to college, graduate. I lost my dad when I was 8. But because of the property he left, the estate he left, that's how all of us were able to go off to college. So we didn't depend on any family. So we just go Nigeria was still good then, the parents, We go in there, the estate, you write down your needs for school, you submit it, they give you the check. That's how I was brought up. So I know what real estate can do, which is still the same today. In anywhere you go, real estate is real estate. It's the same concept. This is a great passive income that we need to tap into. You don't need to have a lot of money to get into it. You don't need to have millions to start biting it little by little. So, and real estate, like I said, real estate is a great way to diversify your portfolio. Whether you invest in real estate directly or indirectly, real estate investors enjoy the healthy returns they receive on their investment. So if you're a newbie in this environment today, I want you to just take some notes down, how you can get into this. And what does it mean to invest in real estate? Investing in real estate can mean several different things. It means you buy a house, and it means you buy a house, you can rent it out. You can do what they call the flip-flop. You buy, you repeat, you renovate. But let's take it a little bit back. So I always encourage, when I talk to my young adults, if you can pay your rent, you can own a house. If you can pay your rent, you can own a house. Why don't you, as a young kid, instead give yourself a timeline, a plan to transition to your own house? You're paying rent, 1 year, 2 years, there's nothing coming back to you. As we know, you are not gaining any tax, no tax break. You are paying rent, no tax break, nothing is coming to you. At the end of the day, even when you want to move out of your rent an apartment, they say you need to pay and fix and do whatever. The landlord is not going to pay you back. Oh, you've been here for 1 year, 2 years, you're a great tenant, let me give you 2,000 as you go. It's not going to happen. But when you're able, and it's not too, you don't even need to be, even as you're in college, start thinking. You have extra time, what I can get to. You don't need to wait, because I want us to bring this down way to a younger age. So by the time you guys are 25, 30, you are already, you already stand firmly. You are not putting any other pressure. You are not under so many pressure. You can say, okay, this is what I want to do. By this, I want to work more in my the project I have, in the ministry God has placed in my hand. I want to do more. I want to do this. You are not getting pressure, getting pulled. So imagine you're able to buy that house. And that house that you bought, over a certain period of years, this property appreciates. Regarding one thing that is good with the real estate is that you might see a bump, but it will come back. It's not going. So it's not that you invest in it's going to be there. I mean, it's going to be done permanently. It bumps and it come back. So you buy a house, for example. The house appreciates. Maybe 20,000, 30,000, or whatever it appreciates. This is, you don't need that. You want to start a business or you want to jump to another house. One thing you can do is you can put the money to start. You can put the money from that equity you have and go and invest it on another property you can get. Before you know it, you start slicing it little by little. You don't have to have a big chunk of money that you want to put, that want to buy 10 houses right now. By the time you slice it, for people that start like us slowly, that's time you start slicing it like that, before you realize it, you've acquired 4 or 5 properties. When you have that 4 or 5 properties, there's a cash flow coming from that every month that you are getting your rent. Number one, someone is paying your mortgage. The property is equity is going on the property. And then probably you're having extra income from that. Right now, especially which we are talking about, the minority, they want to go to the bank, they want to get money. They have to tell them to go and bring their dead grandparents to come and stand. Things that are not impossible tasks because of making life. We need to start taking our own pay by ourselves. You start doing that, before you know it, you've acquired so much on those properties. And then you want to start your business. You are not even think twice. You are not think twice that, oh, the bank, they this. You have a way because they know it's evidence that you have investment that you can pull money from. You do that, it creates an opportunity for you to grow. It gives you a foundation to build on. It gives you an opportunity that you are looking for franchise, you are looking for these other businesses, you know they can see what is coming into your portfolio, what is going out, that we can talk to this woman or we can talk to this man. And then you can take it off. So we talk about, I know, we all pray that our kids, right, our children should go to college tuition free. That's our prayer. But at the same time, as a parent, we know God delights in our prosperity. So we need to take the word. I know the word. I want to be evidence of the what we are reading, what we believe in, to show in my life, to show in our life. So we thought, okay, our kids. I said, banks of this world, they build some programs. I believe programs that fit their own type of system. Based on my own foundation of how I was able to go to school, I was like, if I can get each of my kids, they have their own property. That's a life investment. That takes stress off me. God forbid, no scholarship, nothing. The worst case, take equity, pay your school. The property is still there. It will regenerate back again. And the kids finish their college or work for a certain year. I want to start my own business. I don't have to worry. You have the opportunity of selling the property. At that point, the property already, of course, gone up. Or if you decide you want to take more equity, start your own life. Done. I don't have to be stressing that, how am I going to pay these college kids? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? That's why real estate is solid. We can't talk about everything this afternoon as we roll into this. But I just want to challenge the parent. Look, that you don't have to have millions or big thing that, how do I go into real estate? Don't let anybody scare you. You need to sit down. If you are married with your, you know what, we have on this, when the market, I know the market is, interest rate is up right now, but when things, what we need to do right now, there's a bunch of opportunities. Let's do, if you are good with fixing stuff, do we do flip and flop, buy things, fix it, sell it, or we just buy old? Like ours, we like buy our old. You buy, you old, and over a certain time, it generates. You triple the money you put in, and you are starting with little money. But at the end of the day, by the time you look at it, maybe the stuff you start with 20,000 that you put down is already giving you like 200,000. And then that gives you that opportunity to do other investment you want to do. You are not dependent that, oh, I need to start this business and I need 50,000. Where do I go to 50,000? And you're going to the bank because of 50,000. They are telling you to bring everyone down. So that's no way. We are talking to the point that the prayer is to even be a bank, which is doable. What is bank doing? They are using your money. They are using my money. They are not. It's not that what are they? They are using my money. So that's what they are doing. That's what they are doing. Why can't we shift our mentality and change in that? So that's why we can have this time. We can have time to take. We are not so We are not so cranky to each other when we are home because thinking about this, the kids is coming with, next semester is coming. We need to start thinking how we come out with 10,000. All those that. Yes. So I'll be running off very soon. So, like I said, what are the benefits of investing in real estate? Like we talk about cash flow. If you buy an old real estate or invest in a property, equity you make and cash flow, as we all know, financial security, because real estate naturally appreciates. Tax benefit, and you have control over your property. You don't have control over whatever the real estate stock goes in, but you have control. So what are the 5 ways you can invest in real estate? 1, you can buy rental properties. 2, fix and flip homes. 3, wholesaling. 4, buy the property and sell it immediately. So you get your money back right there. And lastly is have a double closing, which is some wholesaler don't physically buy the property, instead they enter a contract to buy the property with the seller and get into a contract with the buyer for a higher price. So like a middle person, you stand there and you get your money, you cash your money out. So wholesaling, yes, that's the 3rd one. Wholesaling, if you don't want to take possession of a property, but have an extensive network of investors. We'll talk about that. That's probably lead you to what we call syndication. What is syndication? When you are into syndication, you have what we call the active investor and passive investors. So you can go into a bigger deal. So basically, that's the way you operate right now, and it's a good money that's being made. Basically, what you need to do is that you want to buy a 120-unit apartment, for example. And the 120-unit apartment can be let's say it's 10 million. You might say, okay, 10 million, you don't even want to waste your time going to the bank. Or you want to, so you can have your active investor that say, okay, they're going to be paying 20% down. So the active investors share whatever the 20% is of that. If it's 200,000 or is what the 2% is, 2 million, they share. If it's 5 people or 4 people, that okay, we put 400, 500,000 down. They are active investors. So what is passive investor? The passive is like you are buying a share, right? This is a company on its own. It's going to say, if you give me 100,000 to invest in this business or in this real estate, if you give 100,000 in weekly or monthly basis, this is what your 100,000 will generate, will give to you. But after 7 years, this is what your 100,000 will give you. So at the end of the day, we can get those properties or those big investments without wasting time going to the bank. So that is what is syndication. And it's common, so it's like you are buying a share in a company, because each of those properties, they are their own LLC. And then you can put your money to invest. But what I always advise before we run, I always advise is that you need to, you understand from, when you move from residential, if you are doing your residential business, renting, try to set goals for yourself that you want to move to commercial. You understand how commercial operates. Then you want to move in part of the commercial, which is the syndication. You can do big deals, which is a lot of money. Good thing with that is that you buy that, you have people, you can pay people off that. They put their 100,000 in, or 50,000, whatever they put in, and you refinance that property. If that property, you can pay their money off, and then the whole thing becomes to the active investor. They own the property. So you can start all this without starting that have to have huge money. I mean, at the beginning, when you get there, you have, but you start building your wealth. Not that until, I have 100,000 to invest. I have this to it. But you can start slicing it until you get to that level. And then, again, we talk about time. Give you your time. Time to do. You take vacation time. Oh, my kid is playing soccer. I need to go watch the soccer. Oh, my kid is doing speech. I need to be there. Where nobody is controlling our time. So we have time to fulfill what God wants us to fulfill, our purpose in life. So those are we can finish everything, but I just want to drop those nuggets that you start thinking whatever you think, it fits your own schedule, to start thinking of what you move as your passive income to add to your portfolio income. But our prayer is to move out of an income. Any questions? Okay, go ahead.
You have to have a certain degree to start real estate.
You don't have to have a degree to start real estate. But of course, like all the, yeah, of course you have to, a legal age to do all the business. But you can start, if you want to start young with help of your parents, or you can start building up when you are over 18. That, okay, for some, there are some inheritance. Dad, I have something coming on me. I just want to buy this condo. You can buy this condo while you are in college, and you are renting it. It's generating, is appreciating. You get some money from the renter thing. By the time you finish your college, you work at that, okay, we have this idea, we want to start this business. Without even bothering your parents, you have where to get money to start your life. And that's the essence. We want you guys to jumpstart life. And my own, just to tell you, the little I know, I always tell, even when we met, we came into this country after paying all this. It was $50 that was left with me. But to God all glory belongs to God. Today, our real estate portfolio alone today is commanding close to 10 million. And we did not borrow one dime. When I say we finance and all those stuff, that are taking a loan to start any business. We just start slicing it little by little. So you guys that are going to college, still have the build your network. When you get, like Brother Buku said in his presentation, build your network. Build your network, because I always feel bad when I see college kids coming back and I want to go work in restaurant. Why did you go to college for? If you are ending up to work in restaurant. So build your network. So by the time you leave college, you are just taking off. You are taking off. And you can see what we have today. You see the new CEOs. They are 40s, 30s. Maybe by the time they hit 40s, they already say they are retiring, meaning doing their philanthropic works. But it's not that. But having time to do whatever they need to do that fulfill, because money is not that. It's not when you make. But what I want to say is that just making money is not that's only is not fulfilling. Until you do what God really wants you to do, to say, He might give you the money as a tool. But it's not that making this money is fulfilling. You'll be making the money and you see what is the big deal, even with the money, until you start doing, you're becoming a blessing, what God wants you to do, to use that tool for. And then that's when you feel accomplished. You see all these young CEO that they want to go do this project. They want to eradicate malaria. They want to do this. Because they need to do, but we need to get that tool. Yes, 18 and above, but start having the mentality that as you guys go to college, that I'm going to be I'm going to be my own boss at some point, and start making the plan. Even if you are not yet, start making the plan.
Okay. Yes, sir. Can you touch base real quick, both for the young adults that are just coming up, going into college, and the adults that are already in the money market? What is the implication of credit report, credit score on this kind of investment?
Yes, we live in a country that everything is based on your credit. They want to see how you are viable. So again, keep your credit score to be sparkling, in the sense that you are going to college, there's different way you can build your college. There are different cards you can get you can start building it. Maybe it's 500 watts or 1,000, but don't get to the habit of everything I want to put on credit. You are just, we are going to build it. And then they will come to you, buy this, and don't pay 2 years, or don't fall to all those traps. Because by the time you have 2 or 3 cards, it's difficult to keep track of what to pay. Before you know it, you start falling behind payment, and that's start affecting your credit. At the beginning, unless you have your cash, even if you have your cash, it's unfortunate that this system is just so built on what credit. Even if you have cash, it doesn't show that you have this transaction. But if you have money to pay, our background is that I know we are in the system that we have to take this. You have to pay for everything before you start using it. But that does not mean you have to go into debt. But the goal is even for you to be able to buy your thing off. We don't need to. I always tell people that we don't operate. That's the world economy. But when you operate on God's kingdom economy, it doesn't care. Your money, you pay it and you buy it. That's the mentality. The credit, yes, at the beginning, as a starter, you want to get loan, you want to get this, you need that. And some other profession, even you are looking for some other kind of jobs, you have to have good credit report and good credit rating and etc. Yes, you still want to do that. It's part of how to manage your money. It's not how to credit if you manage, but they turn to give credit to people that, they can't manage themselves, and they are just going to, and they are not getting out of it, and they become slave to the credit card company. But our goal in our church is ability to be able to pay for what we need. We don't even need to depend. Like I said, bank, you want to go get loan, go bring your great-great-grandfather to get the loan. That's already already there for a long time, making things difficult. But we can do it if we start cultivating the habit right from the beginning as you go, how to manage my money, what is my goal when I get out, what am I, you don't need to wait. What is little passive as I'm in college, you have talent. At your break, what am I good at? Am I good at writing? Am I good at this? You can use all these little skills. What's your talent to start generating money? By the time you get out of college, you already have money to be able to start, to launch into your first property. So by the time you even get married, you're already settled. You are living your own home. So lifestyle, you start life on a good platform. So for the people in the money market, right, today, like what we shared, you just need to think how to operate. Think about your talent. Your talent can turn into you as passive. This is what you like doing. It's not someone forcing you. Why can't you turn what you like doing into making money? And lastly, on that, just be unique. What is common in I always tell my wife, stay on your own lane. We are in the environment that I know he's doing this. I know I'm not good at it. but I'm just struggling. And I'll go start, I don't know how it started, but I'll just start something, put money before you know it, because it's not what I normally have left for, but I just want to do, oh, it's doing, and then I think, just take time, understand yourself, stay on your own lane, you are unique. And that talent or skill set that is unique that you have, start thinking prayerfully, how can I turn this to make money for me? I hope that answers your question.
Yes, if you're renting a house, how are you going to know the house you're renting is the right amount for the cost for the house? So the house you're renting, you're supposed to rent a different price. How are you going to know the right price to rent the house?
Yeah. Basically, if you have a house you want to rent, there's different things in those areas. Number one, you have to understand what your mortgage you are paying for that house. Let's say if you are paying $1,500 as a mortgage. Basically, of course, you need to understand the rent in that area, right? If the rent in that area go for $2,000, for example, that's the pace. But there are some things when you are talking in the real estate world. There are some few things that can be added value. That maybe in your own apartment you said, or your house you are going to rent, that I'm going to provide a slight level of security that they don't have in that community. Maybe you're putting a camera, I'm just using that as an example, or maybe you just do a little thing, a little touch, and that can make your own rent go up. That's all the things you need to look into. So that will jump you if the average rent in that area is $2,000. Maybe you add something that doesn't cost you more than $1,000. That can jump your own rent to $2,200. And at the end of the day, maybe you have $700 or $600 after you pay your mortgage that is come to you as a monthly cash flow to your pocket.
I was going to add to what she said. Are there some websites where someone can check to make sure that you're giving the market value? Or, I mean, how do you just know? I mean, you can't just know by just asking other people how much they're selling their or renting their house.
There are different websites. I mean, you have Zillow, you have Revin, basically you can even go, you can talk to your real estate if you have a real estate guy. Because when you go to the county, you can check what the value, but the value for the county is conservative appraisal they give. It doesn't give because of tax. It doesn't give the actual value. But you can go to, it's a public record. You can go, you can search and see what the neighbor, what was the last price they sold the house in the neighborhood. Those are public record, or you can, for giving you an idea's sake, you can go to Zillow.com or Refin or some other, to go and just give you an idea of what the values are. Or you talk to your real estate to give you an idea of what the value of your house is. Okay.
I know our time is fast gone. I don't know if this is a good question for such a time like this. I know we've been talking about real estate, all true. For we younger generation, so to say, that are into the IT world, and I know you are conversant with the IT world, what kind of passive income can we build from the IT spectrum, moving away from the real estate now?
Okay. This is the deal. I always tell people, especially because, like you said, IT. I see IT as to me, it's a vehicle for you to make money to be able to invest in other things. So how do you do that? Is how you do that is that, okay, I'm a project manager, IT PM, for example. Okay, I do this is what I do for my company. You can use that same skill set to look for, as a consultant, to other companies that say, you know what, we have a 6-month project that we need ITPM for. You're still doing your primary job. This job is like, now that most people work from home, you know, depending how you build your relationship in your current company, this thing you can work this in side by side. That you are making whatever they are paying you per hour, $100 per hour, or whatever you can make that. And the money that you generate or you make from that during that project, you can start thinking, instead of just throwing that, should I invest that money in real estate or other thing as you go? Those are you make your fund, you generate that fund from somewhere. It's not that someone, I don't want, go to the bank, so you have that to be able to take you to both, to move you around between portfolio and that passive income. So you just need to have that mindset.
How? I mean, I just want to know how. Can you give an example? Yeah, I think that's what I need to say.
Example?
So, yeah.
I can give an example from my personal experience. So, for my personal experience, when I used to be in an income scenario, right? Of course, I solidify. First thing, solidify your primary and income environment and build that trust. I was able to build that. After solidifying that, then there was opportunity that, you know what, I do network engineering. Why can't I form a LLC? Why can't I start looking for extra gig? So at the same time, at that point in time, I have a contract with AT&T, contract with 2 other companies. The same. So I go because I build out those relationships. I know they have built those in my work. I call the same time in my office. I have my laptop, and I have the other contracting laptops that I'm doing, because I told them this is what I want. I said they are okay. And I start doing the same thing, same hour, like I said. I'm not doing it's not that I finish my 8 to 5 job, I'm doing another 7 to midnight job. No, it's still the same hour that was working those 3 clients for me. And I was able to make enough money to start other investing. But the deal is that you want to build that trust, that they even call you. That when I was working, they will call me. They know I don't even have to open my laptop to resolve issue. They call me out, okay, check this, check. So they so much trust me in my primary and income. Though, even if you cannot do that, if you say, okay, it's only to start with, it's only Saturday I can do that. You know, pick it up. It's the same thing that you are doing. You can still be driving the car. Okay, log in. Did you check this? Did you check that? Which is good in IT, because you can always do that, and you start building that gradually, and then you get to a point that, you know what, I have 3-4 clients. Is it the time now to start transition of my earned income, to start even planning to start rolling my own company, even employ more people? So you have 3-4, and then you know it's even making more than what you are making your earned income, and it's going to be step by step as you move through that process.
Thank you, sir. You just nailed it.
No problem. I mean, it's a lot, but we just want to sow the seed this evening or this afternoon that we talk about our key. We start with our key. A lot of eye-opening. You raise it, everybody raise it, everybody agree that we need to get involved in our children's life, especially when they go through this. And one of the things is that when we build our wealth, like to God be the glory, I manage my time. He said, he needs to be at school. I just have to move things around. I don't have to worry that, there's a meeting on this, there's a meeting on that. And that's where we need to be, so that we can be really involved in this children's life. We are not stuck in 8 to 5. Some people, even if they are 8 to 5, they cannot pick calls. Even if the kids here, I can't call mommy so, I can't call daddy so time because he or she cannot pick the phone call. So that's not, you want to have that open access to our kid. Okay, sir.
I think nowadays it's even the state law that whatever job you're doing, whatever you're excused for the kids is the state law. So
if the state can start recognizing it, we should be the light to the world. We should be anywhere we go. We should be. Our kids are excelling. We are excelling. We are looking vibrant. We are not fine. Nobody is finding any of us wanting what we need to do, and we can do it because the most important thing that I want to leave with you is what we have. We have what other people in the world don't have. That's number one. We have God. I always tell people, don't always say, I don't operate on the economy of the world. I operate in God's kingdom. When the world says, when people are saying, cast it down, we'll be saying lifting up. And when it's casting down, I'm saying lifting up. That's why I buy. That's why I invest. The money comes, and it's like we pray last prayer that the hidden treasure that we pray in our Daniel fasting, that God will lead us. How is it going to be? This is the time. Even people of the world, when the economy is down, that's when people cannot pay their mortgage. That's why they buy cheap. And when the economy bounces back, the same property they buy for 50,000, they are selling it back for 150. The same people are still buying it back from there. So, if you believe in the word, let's walk in the word. And that's it. This is the time, even it's so that we are not, even if they say the economy is going south, we are not going with them. This is the time we are going above. This is the time this is the time that my empire is even to grow more. So let's have that mindset, and God will lead us. God will direct us. That's number one. What we're saying is God can just give you a little nugget. Go do this. When it's like God blinding people's eyes for you, and you just see that, wow. And people will be asking you, we did not even see that this kind of thing is here. How did you find it? How did you know? But what God is preparing it for you. So we are not talking about, at times, it's not about talking 1 + 1 = 2 when God wants to do great things for you. So that's our assurance that we will continue to be victorious. I think we've run like 30 minutes over time. I know this is from morning till now. It's so super enriching. I wish, hopefully, I think we should be bringing this. We'll talk with the team how often we should be bringing different kind of things to challenge ourselves, to encourage ourselves, to open our eyes, to make sure, the next time we might even put so that you can learn from real experience, people to share how they go, so that it's not that we are just talking what is not doable. We are just giving codes, but hear from people their experience, how they build this, or how they went to school without paying any dime, how they secure a job before they leave college, and so that our children can know, and adults who can know that all this can be done. Praise the Lord. Any more questions before I invite? I think that we are so happy that we have a Father in the Lord here before. I don't know if you have any words you want to share with us. If no more questions, thank you.
Thank you. I've been watching from home. So I just said, okay, let me come towards the tail end. I was watching when Ibukun was sharing, so I started watching from home, and I sent it because it's been broadcasted on our YouTube channel, on our app, and all our internet something. The other thing I was just going to encourage those of you who are here, You can feel free to forward it, especially from the YouTube, to your friends to come work it. My Hosea 4:6 says, my people perish. The word perish means they couldn't fulfill their heart desire. It's not that they are out of existence. My people perish. The extreme of perishing is extinction. But people have been perishing gradually. And it's not lack of faithfulness. It's you can be faithfully ignorant. And that's what most Christians are. They are very faithful, but they are ignorant. So they begin to wonder why faith is not working. My mother said, I have this back pain. So we talk. Pastor Kemi came, Sister Alice came, Sister Alice brought the patch, brought cream. I said, why is he still there? What did you use? What they asked you to use? She said they didn't bring anything. I said they brought. The thing was looking at me. We are both looking at each other. I said, is this not it? You don't use it. I said, I know why it's not working. You don't use it. And I don't care how many shuka you say. There is a place of Bible, what we call biblical principles. Everything Pastor Yinka is teaching yours. They all came out of biblical principles. Seed time and harvest. And Pastor Yinka has done a fantastic job, Pastor Kemi and this whole team that put this together. I just want to congratulate you, especially those of you that are in high school right now. Tell your parents to watch it. I wish your parents will be here. To God be the glory. I have sent 2 kids through college. The student loan they got into is in their own headache, and none of them are in a student loan scenario anymore. So I just want to encourage you, stay positive. We will do it more. And thank you, Pastor Kem, Pastor Yinka, Pastor Kemi, and all of you that are here. God bless.
Thank you. We value it all. And we go out and take over in Jesus' name as you go into your next level. We're going to stay connected. We're going to bring, especially for you going to new college kids, because we want to make sure that our prayer is for you. We want to see you succeed in everything. So you'll be getting, probably we'll bring our care packages back and everything. Make sure you have your information with the church and the program. And we normally do monthly prayer meeting. We bring that back for everybody join. You have prayer requests. Join it. We want to. And not only that, we want to be bringing some encouraging life experience in different categories that can say, you know what, you can relate with. Because the idea is we are not here just to be a part. We are here to take over. We talk about different things like, to be an activist is great. To say that we are fighting for this right. Someone got to do it. It's great. Someone needs to bring the awareness. Yes, fine. But how can we take over? The people that take over controls the economy, controls the power. We can riot here from morning till night. Yeah, we shout till morning. Yes, they will give us the audience for a couple of weeks, days. Then, but if you don't have people that can influence it, that say, you know what, talking to the lawmaker that if you are going to contest next year, I'm not going to donate any money for you. They will listen to you. I'm giving you money because I want you to pass this law. That's the reason why I'm sponsoring you. And you can sponsor 4 people. And then they can start listening. But if you don't have any economic power, that's the problem we are still facing, that we need to collectively take over. That the CEO is the CEO of this, is the MD of this or that. And they are doing the policy. Then you can fight for the policy that benefits your people. And that's why we want to instill in our children, change the narrative. Change the narrative moving forward. Don't let us move in with the same narrative the parents have done, which is not. But you guys need to change the narrative. You are solid. You have so many things that they don't have. You are God's chosen. So We want you to go to your school. Be a lead. You are not. Just take over. You're in class. Before they mention, oh, I know you can't just go. It's full of wisdom. It's whatever she says or whatever he says, we got to do it. You are building your network. By the time you're out of school, it's like, oh, we need to write this policy. This lady or this guy that we went to school is our policy maker. And then you can tell them, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. So, once again, congratulations. And I hope there's a lot of information, but you need more information, new thing. College and career will be here for you, with you in your journey. And I want to appreciate all, like Bishop said, I want to appreciate all the teams that put this together. From the technical, from Brad Debo, from Sister Doi, I see Christian, Peace, Anu, my wife, and they are not here. I want to thank you. Tomorrow is another big day. We are still coming back here at 5 to do the preparation for tomorrow. So it's going to be a grand, but the key thing that we can know is to have all these nuggets sealed in us. Once again, thank you, and let's just close ourselves in prayer. Yeah. Heavenly Father, we thank you. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for your faithfulness. We thank you for what you are doing in this ministry. We thank you that all of us are moving forward. We thank you. We thank you that you are raising champions every time, that we never lack. We never miss any graduates in any level in this ministry. We thank you for what you've deposited in us this morning, afternoon. We pray that this will continue to find a fertile place in our hearts, and we continue to grow and germinate, and we continue to be fruitful and multiply. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray.
This is Kingdom Connection Christian Center. Thank you for joining us. We welcome you to watch this message and others again by Bishop Israel Ade Ajala, live streamed on YouTube and Facebook. Be blessed.